Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 165 on my countdown to retirement. So, today, first thing, I did my weekly weigh in, and unfortunately, I ended up gaining 0.4 pounds. So, I'm up to 209.2, although my clothes are still feeling looser. So, I mean, that's something, I guess. Then I read my Sunday morning newsletters from Seeking Alpha, the New York Times, and Rob Berger. And then I looked at the earnings calendar to see what's coming up in the next week, and if any of my individual stocks happen to be reporting, as 20% of the S&P 500 are going to be reporting this coming week. And as it turns out, I have 4 holdings in individual stocks that are going to be reporting. Well, actually, three they're going to be reporting. That's going to be Verizon, Alphabet, and AT&T. And then Monday of the following week, it'll end up being Enterprise Product Partners, or EPD. And then from Rob Berger's email, I went over to his DIYRetirement subreddit, and I'll leave the description, I'm sorry, not the description, the link to that in the description box below in case you want to check it out. Read some of the stuff that was over there. It was interesting. Recommend you hop over and take a quick read and see if any of that information is useful for you. Then I searched, since I was in Reddit, I searched on Reddit for VPN recommendations for traveling abroad, with a specific focus on being able to access financial accounts like bank accounts, as well as like brokerage accounts, things like that. And it came back with ratings on, and reviews, I guess, on NordVPN, on Proton VPN, on Molvad VPN, on Surfshark VPN, on Thornex VPN, and on ExpressVPN. And then I followed that up with searches on Google's Gemini AI Assistant, as well as Grok 3 AI Assistant, just to see how they would do a comparison between all the ones I just named. And in most cases, the general response back is, NordVPN is probably the most useful VPN, for the average person. It depends on what you're looking to get out of it. For what I'm looking to get out of it, maybe not, but I'll get into that in a little bit. And then I signed up for a global pass on Visible by Verizon, so I now have access to be able to make calls in the countries that we're going to be going to. So that'll be UK, Belgium, Netherlands, Norway, and Iceland. And got the specific country codes and everything set up within my phone, so that I'll be able to make the appropriate calls. It'll end up being $10 a day for every day that it's active over there, which includes unlimited talk and text, as well as 2 gigabytes of data at full speed, and then an unlimited amount of data at 3G speeds. So we'll see how that works out. I still need to buy the data plan, the eSIM for the data plan for my wife's phone, so that's TBD. And then I watched a few holes of the Open Championship with the $17 million purse from Northern Ireland. And then I wanted to run out and do some errands, so I started recording it so I could watch the completion of the championship match when I got back. So then I went to 2 different Goodwills, as I had indicated when I bought some jeans the other day, that there was several other in my area, and I was going to go check those out. So I went to the other 2, and I was able to find 1 pair of black jeans that I liked, that fit. And the jeans, because my wife has signed up, I guess, for the Savvy Shopper, and because of the color on the tag of the jeans that I bought, ended up being like 50% off. So I got the pair of jeans for $4.37, which is freaking awesome. And then, just for simplicity, they give you a chance to round up, and I did. I just rounded it to a flat $5. So it would be just easy to give them the $5 bill and get out the door. So that's what I did. And then we stopped for a late lunch at our favorite Chinese restaurant, and I had beef with broccoli, and my wife had General Tso's chicken. And then when we came back, I finished watching Scotty Scheffler win the Open Championship with a first place payday of $3.1 million. Harris English came in second with a payday of $1.759 million. His last win was at the Farmers Insurance Open earlier in the year, where he earned $1.674 million, and he also came in second place in the PGA tournament earlier this year, where he made $1.419 million. So not bad paydays for these guys. And then Chris Gotterup came in third, and he recently had won the Scottish Open and had gotten the payday of $1.575 million. But this time he came in third place, which today's payoff gave him $1.128 million. So golf can be pretty lucrative if you're one of the top golfers. Then I continued doing more research on VPNs, and I decided to go with the Proton VTM. And that's because I looked at, NordVPN, ExpressVPN, etc., read all the reviews. Fundamentally, the one I went with, which is based in Switzerland, is the #1 rated app for privacy. And that's because in Switzerland, the laws that are there don't allow companies to provide IP addresses to the government, even when it's requested under legal issues. They also are not covered by, I forget what the actual name of the thing is, but like, I'm going to say 357, but I know that's wrong. It's something like 7, 9, 14. It's a certain countries that have all agreed that they would share data around privacy items, and Switzerland's not one of the countries that's part of that. So when you use something that has servers that are based, or a company that's based in Switzerland, basically your privacy, at least from a legal perspective, and among sharing other countries, is secure. NordVPN is based in Panama, which also has similar protections on the, again, whatever, the 7913 or whatever it's called, 14, but not as strong protections as the Swiss government has for not revealing information. And likewise, ExpressVPN, I believe, is in the British Isles. No, British Virgin Islands. I think it's in the British Virgin Islands, which also has reasonable protections. But in everything that I read across all the different reviews of VPNs, this one came back as having the absolute tightest security. And fundamentally, on a VPN, that's what I care about. I don't care about all the other things that people are throwing in, like malware protection and email scanning and stuff that you would normally have on like an antivirus program. Like, that's not what I want a VPN for. I want to be able to log on. I want to be able to make sure that everything's fully encrypted. I want to know end to end. I don't have to worry about what's happening to the data. And in the case of the servers that the data is routing through, I want to make sure that there's no logging turned on, that the data is simply kept while I'm on those servers in RAM, and as soon as I exit the servers, that RAM is flushed, and so there's no trace of my communications left for anybody to be able to get access to. And that's what happens on the VPN that I selected. And so I ended up, prepaid for 1 year, which was $59.88 or $4.99 a month. And I get up to 10 devices that I can put this on. So I've already installed it on my Windows desktop. I've already got it on my Android phone. I'll end up installing it on my wife's equipment, which is, again, an Android phone and a Windows device. And then I'll also put it on her iPad, her Apple iPad. It was pretty simple to install on both the devices. I've already installed on. It's activated. So it wasn't a big deal. And then I checked on the volcanic activity that was going on in Iceland per the suggestion from one of my subscribers at Kathy Mills 1959, and I downloaded the Safe Travel app for Iceland on my Android phone. And the volcanic eruption that started on July 16th is approximately 25 miles away from the capital of Iceland in Reykjavik, but all of the all the tours are still going on. They had closed the whatever the Blue Lagoon hot spa for a period of time, but that's now been reopened. And the big thing that people are still dealing with at the moment with the wind currents is the sulfur gases as they circulate around the island, as well as kind of an ash cloud. So that is having an impact. And hopefully by the time I get there in a couple of weeks, everything will be clear. I'll obviously be using the app to track the issues, and then obviously if something happens that affects the areas where I'm going to be going, then the tours and stuff that I've got booked, they'll just refund and I'll take care of that. But the northern and central part of Iceland, where I'll be going first, isn't currently impacted by what happened with the volcano. It's really the south and western port, so near the Keflavik airport and Reykjavik, and then a little bit east from there is where the actual volcano eruption occurred. So that's that. Then my mom, sister, and brother-in-law took off this afternoon for Alaska. So they'll be spending 2 weeks there. First, they're flying into Vancouver for like 3 days, then catching a ship. I think they're going on Regent line, and then they'll take that cruise through the Inside Passage in Alaska, and then they'll spend I think 3 days on the backside of the cruise in Anchorage and various travel around that portion of northern Alaska, and then fly home. So my sister booked my mom in first class. She got a really great price apparently on American to go from Fort Lauderdale Airport to Dallas. Then they're going to be changing planes, and I think she'll be in business class on Alaska Airlines from Dallas to Vancouver. First time my mom's not been in economy, and she had already texted me how nice it was to be where she was. So I guess so, if you're willing to spend the extra money, which so far in my lifetime I have not been willing to do. Anyway, that's my update for today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.